and welcome back to Working Girls. I'm Trinity the Tuck.
And I am Ginger Minge, and I am so excited to be here with our special guest today.
I know this next guest is
An icon,
a legend.
somebody we all wanted to be.
I still want to be.
You'll never be.
I will never be. No,
there will never be another.
There will never be another.
Okay, so Miss Trinity, so you don't keep it a secret that you love plastic surgery. You love body augmentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why is that?
I just think that, first of all, people need to mind their damn business.
Well, yeah, but yes and no. I think it's really good that you're very vocal about it.
Well, yeah, I'm totally open. If someone has questions, I definitely am open because I want people to know like the rights and wrongs of what I went through to know what they should and shouldn't do. But as far as like me being open, I just think it's fun. And I think it's cool that you can change permanently what you look like or what you don't like about yourself. Or
Well, yes, I agree with that. And I've always had little things like everybody in the world. I have insecurities about parts of me that I would love to change. But the only thing I ever did was I got Botox, and I loved the way it made me look. I hated the way it made me feel. It triggered, apparently, just for those of you listening out there, apparently Botox in like, what is it, like 1% of people that get Botox? I don't know. These facts are wrong, but go and Google it. But it's a very small percentage of people who get Botox. It triggers anxiety and depression.
What?
And I happen to be one of those people.
Wow.
So I got it. And like a couple of days later, I looked stunning in the mirror, not a wrinkle to be seen. But then later that night, just went into the worst panic attack of my life. And it lasted constantly for like 6 months. I had to go on medication.
Because of Botox. Don't scare these people.
No, I'm not trying to scare them. I'm saying make sure you do your research before you go and know that there are side effects that could potentially happen to you.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it. I just ran out and did it because somebody offered it. And I was like, okay, this sounds great. I would love to get rid of my wrinkles. And that has since scared me from getting like the lips, the nose, the cheeks, all these things that I want to get done. I was going to have all of this taken off because even when I'm skinny, I have like just this bubble. My aunt actually used to call me a blow pop when I was little because I had the teeny tiny little body. I was like a little stick with a giant round head on it. So I wanted to get all of like my double chin sculpted out and those things, but I'm a little too afraid to do it now.
I think that, first of all, people need to be realistic with plastic surgery. It's not the magic wand that's going to erase your insecurities or make you look perfect.
It's not Photoshop.
Right. And people need to realize when you do it, you're probably not going to 100% get rid of the things that you are insecure about. Mm-hmm. I still have those. You have to be okay with having flaws. That being said, if it's going and only do it for yourself. That being said, when you do it, it's good to do it if you want to fix something that is really like my nose, for example. I was super insecure about that growing up. And it took me 2 nose jobs to get my nose where it's at now, where I feel comfortable. And I think that's totally fine. As long as you're doing it for you and you do your research, I think it's totally healthy and totally fine. As long as you're not doing it to think that it's going to fix everything, because it's not. And you have to be okay with that. But if you want to tweak a couple of things, it's totally okay.
So I watch My 600-Pound Life. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they do on there, look at the sun is just catching my highlight right there. Oh, gorgeous.
Right there in the middle.
Girl, just, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like the police in the helicopter looking for me. Anyway, on My 600-Pound Life, they make them go through therapy to basically drill it into their head. This is not going to fix your insecurities. It's not going to fix your emotional issues. No. This is just going to fix some physical things. It's going to help you to become healthier, but it's up to you to do the work for all the emotional stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that I am still open to having the augmentations that I think would make me feel better about myself. But I also have that little part of me that's a little scared. So I'm trying to work on the emotional aspect before I go in and have anything permanent done.
Yeah. I also think like what turned me on to body modification with plastic surgery I was through performing. I was surrounded by these beautiful trans women who had transitioned their bodies to look the way that they did. And I wanted to be beautiful like that. And at the time I was confused because I wasn't sure if I wanted to transition, if I didn't know if I was trans or exactly what. And I think that, nowadays there's still pressure, but it's being more accepted, especially if you're trans. You don't necessarily have to alter your body. And I want people to know that it's okay to be who you are naturally without anything, if you're comfortable that way. And but for the people that do want to alter their body, you shouldn't be shamed for that either.
No, and I would never, my first pageant was Continental. I jumped right into the Continental pageantry system, which are some of the most beautiful trans women ever. And I wanted to run with them. I wanted to be them. And even now, I don't consider myself a trans woman. I don't consider myself a man. I'm just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn how to kind of accept that about myself. I do prefer to be called she.
Yeah.
I do prefer to be referred to as Ginger, because Ginger is somebody that I have created that I'm comfortable with. I live with her all the time, and I feel like
that's your confidence.
She represents the best parts of me. So I think that there's a lot more femininity to me than there is masculinity, but I'm comfortable.
I'm just
monster! You monster!
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Here I am pouring out my foam padded heart. You're just ripping me down. No. But I've had to learn to reconcile the way that I feel in my heart versus the way that I view myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
I've had to make them live together.
Yeah, I also too have dealt with body issues and image issues my whole entire life, and even after getting plastic surgery, that still is there. It's constantly there. But as I get older, I have learned to accept my flaws. But speaking of someone who has no flaws, and they are absolutely stunning, let's welcome our guest.
Oh, and I can't wait to have this conversation with her, because I feel like it's gonna kind of help me feel better about possibly making those decisions for myself.
Absolutely. Let's welcome an icon.
The icon.
The icon.
We love her.
We love her. Amanda
Lepore.
Let's go ahead and introduce her, because I'm just excited to talk.
Everybody, ladies, and everything in between, is the one, the only, the icon, Amanda Lepore.
Hi, beautiful.
Ready? Hi.
Hi. You look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You two look beautiful too.
Well, you're very kind to say that. We're here in our snuggies.
And you're just like a glamazon. I see you have on your red lipstick.
Yes.
This is your own.
I wear it all the time. So unless I wear like a mask, run into the store or something,
I love it. You sent it to me to try. It is literally the best red lipstick I've ever used in my entire life.
Yeah, it feels good and it stays really put. It doesn't move,
Yeah.
Where can I get some?
Where can people buy your lipstick and gloss?
It's on AmandaLepore.com. AmandaLepore.com.
Oh, I'm gonna give me some.
You should. The color is just pure red. The packaging is really cute. I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, so Amanda, I know that you live in New York now. Where are you originally from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. So you didn't really have to go that far.
I didn't go that far.
I've gone all the way several times in New York City. Actually, in New Jersey. What part of New Jersey are you from?
Well, I grew up as a really little kid. Like, I grew up in Wayne, New Jersey, and then I moved to Cedar Grove, and then I got married in Bergenfield.
Bergenfield. I lived in Weehawken for about 2 months, and that was all I could take. And I had to cross the bridge.
It wasn't great. I don't have good memories.
I don't see why anybody would.
You don't really have like an accent from there. Is that just like trained because like you've done acting and stuff, or how is that? Why don't you sound like you're? Because I'm straight from Alabama and I sound like it too.
I think in the old Joan Rivers show where she interviewed the club kids, like I sounded really Jersey, I thought.
Okay, yeah, I've seen some of your interviews on YouTube.
I still hear it a little bit, like I still have it like a bit, but I guess just living in New York for a long time, it went away a little bit. But definitely on that Joan Rivers thing, I sound very Jersey. I think.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I've seen so many interviews of you. Like I've literally obsessed over you because you're just so stunning. And I'm gonna have to find the Joan Rivers thing because I have. Where can I see that? Is that on YouTube as well?
Yeah, it's like the club kids with Michael Alec and Lee Bowery and
Yes.
on there.
So tell me a little bit about like your early life, your like childhood. Like you
Well,
grew up in Jersey.
I grew up in New Jersey. Like, my mother was schizophrenic, so like paranoid schizophrenic. So she was hospitalized when I was like super young, but we were really close. Like, like I was really friendly with her and kind of I was like got used to her and would like kind of go along with her things that she would hallucinate about and things.
Oh.
Her, so I would like play games with her kind of. So she would like really like me a lot.
Was she glamorous like you?
She actually was when she wasn't sick, if she took medication and stuff and everything, she would do her hair, she would get her hair done, she would wear red lipstick and she would or sometimes she would wear different colors as well and she would she liked makeup, like she would wear like eyeliners and stuff and she would let me play with her makeup and perfumes and things and she was really tiny. She was only like 4'10" or something. So when I was like really little, I was able to fit in her shoes.
Wow. She was rich.
High heel shoes and things. Like she dressed really well.
But you're also really tiny. You're like 5'2", right?
Yeah, I'm 5'2", but she was even tinier. Like she was like 4.
I'm 5'3". This is the first time I have felt tall.
Oh, so what about your dad?
My dad, I didn't see him as much, but he was always like nice with me and stuff and everything. He was a chemical engineer in New Jersey, and I think when like I started going to I got a tutor for being harassed in like high school and I just said, oh fuck it. So I took hormones like like not legally and everything and got boobs and stuff. But I used to just tell my mother, oh, like, they're just growing, I don't know what's going on and blah, blah, blah. I got away with like a lot of stuff, I think. And the guidance counselor wouldn't let me go to school as a girl because I showed up dressed as a girl, like one summer when I was doing all the hormones and everything. And she said, I can't go to school like that. And I didn't want to quit. So they let me get like a tutor. And then my father thought it would be a good idea if I went to hairdressing school. So he paid to go to hairdressing school for me. And then I don't know, then he was hoping that I would be just gay, like, and then dressed as a girl on weekends.
Isn't that's what all parents want? They want you to just be gay and dress like a girl on the weekends.
Pretty like open-minded, but he thought like, oh, you look pretty now, but you're not gonna look that way like when you get older. And, like, and then like he would see me and like I would still be dressed as a girl and everything, and then I would be getting married and everything, and then I kind of proved him wrong, and he got used to that, so he was like okay with it.
What about like, since you're from a really small town and you transitioned really early, did you know a lot of trans women in your like town or near you when you were transitioning?
I didn't know anyone at all. I just knew like people I would meet in like the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I remember when I had my sex change, there was another girl there and she was really big, like a big girl. And I remember going shopping with her like a little bit, like places and stuff. And she always liked like really like strappy, thin heeled, really high shoes. And she would try them on and they would break.
I know that problem. I've had that problem. And I can't wear a spaghetti strap because I look like a pork loin all tied up in the string.
But she was really pussy and like, so I remember the salesman would say like, "Oh, madam, you can't try any more shoes on. You're breaking them." And she said, "How dare you? There's something wrong with these shoes." And she was really pussy and trying them on, and so she broke them all.
I have a story kind of like that, not about trans. Like when I first started drag, my best friend that started drag with me, he was a stoutier guy. He wasn't heavy set, but he was thicker, and he had a big head, like just a big head. And when we would go to the wig store, the little lady that owned the wig store would let me try on wigs, but would not let him try on the wigs because she's like, "You have a big head, no try on wig." I was like, "Oh my gosh." So we had to end up finding another wig store that would let him try on wigs.
I did a photo shoot with Matthew Anderson one time for my first album, and he brought me one of Rue's beautiful lace front wigs to wear. And I was like, "Please don't put it on my head. I have a bigger head than you think. Please don't put it on my head." He put it on my head and the lace cracked in 2 places.
Oh no.
I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble."
That's why you never won Drag Race.
It must be exactly why. But people like, they don't realize, yeah, I mean, I'm big everywhere, but they don't realize how big my head is sometimes.
Now, when you have a big head, I guess, because then you have less teasing, I guess. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, absolutely. This is just my back hair. I just slept wrong and it all stuck up.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, do you when you go out for like just to go to the grocery store, are you always this glamorous? Because I've never seen a picture of you not
perfect.
Not fully done perfectly.
Well, I don't wear makeup really if I'm just going to the store or something or errands in the daytime. Like I usually, before, the mask situation, I used to wear red lipstick and just sunglasses, and it was really easy for me to do, and just like a lot of sunscreen and things. But now, like I make up my eyes like a little bit, like, and I'll wear like a mask that matches my outfit. I tend to wear like leopard a lot in the daytime because I just could throw it on really fast. And I'll sometimes, if I'm really, really, really in a hurry, I'll just wear like a bang wig.
Yes.
So I don't have to do like eyebrows or anything. And I could get out of the house, like roll out of bed, literally. Like, I could get ready really fast. And I wear body conscious clothes. Like I'll wear leggings and I'll wear a top. I guess I kind of dress like Peg Bundy.
I love that.
Who is a style icon.
Yeah, she's an icon.
Like my daytime look is kind of like that.
I love that. Well, everything that you wear is amazing.
Well, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Speaking of style icons like Peg Bundy, who was your style icon when you were younger? Like, who did you want to grow up and be?
Definitely Marilyn Monroe. And I also like Jean Harlow and like all of the period, I think. And well, Jean Harlow was the 30s, but Mammy Van Doren and
well, you definitely have
the Doors and all that.
You've met that blonde bombshell look.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I never got sick of it. Like I always liked that. It was like so feminine and it was so like artificial too. I think like Marilyn kind of created like that thing, and I was like fascinated by her makeup too because she would be really good at it, and she kind of did things that people do on Instagram now, and they didn't have a lot of those products. Like highlighting. And she did Vaseline and all these weird things. And she was the only star to wear like lip gloss and be dewy. Like everything was really matte then, like the glamour thing. So she was kind of ahead of her time with like makeup. And I like women that really transform like a lot. Like the Von Teese too. She was like a blonde and then she dyed her hair black. And I just love all that. Like, and the makeup and just how you could be so plain and then be, you know.
Well, I love it because it's you creating something.
It's like drag, but like with a real woman, I guess. So I was always like into that because I wanted to become a woman. So, so I would always like that. But I love drag as well because of the transformation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just like love that you could escape and, you know, gain confidence and be something that you aspire to be. You could live out your dreams and fantasies, you know.
Well, speaking of that, you're considered one of the original club kids. And what was that era like of like?
Well, how did it happen?
Yeah, how did it happen? What was it like?
Well, I had a roommate one time and he took me out to like, I was a dominatrix back then and I didn't really go out at all, but I then had like, I looked a lot like Jane Mansfield and was really glamorous, but wore like leather and fetish things and stuff. So he took me to the Limelight, I think, and we were dancing and stuff. And I met like this college guy who became a boyfriend for like 2 years, I think. And it was just a really fun night and it kind of got me out of my shell. And Michael Alec came up to me and wanted to hire me he said, "Oh, I think you're fabulous. I want to hire you as like a dancer, a go-go dancer, like here." And then he said, and also on Saturday, as the night went on, he said he gave me like another job. So I started doing that, and I started liking that a lot more than being a dominatrix because it was just more fun, like making outfits and stuff to go dancing and stuff. And then they tried to put me in as a door person and letting everyone in for free.
That would be me too.
And they got mad at me, so they said I couldn't do that. But then, and the Joan Rivers show came like a week later, the next week. Like I was on the show already, and they kind of told me what to say. And everything. I was like pretty shy, like, and that's why it was easy for me to dance in a cage because I didn't have to talk to anybody for like a long time.
Yeah.
So it was easy, and then people started talking to me, and they would like me a lot, you know. So I became like popular, like in that thing, and the Girl, the Minute, and all this stuff, and it was really a lot of fun. Like I see a lot of similarities, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of creativity with club kid drag. My drag mother was like half club kid, half pageant. And so that's kind of where I get like my creative streak through. But I love that unusual outside of the box style of costuming, and because you literally can just transform into anything.
Yeah.
I liked all that too. Like I like all freaky different people, you know, like I don't like basic. So, you know, I loved all that. And, you know, it's good for people that don't want to be like me, but like don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
In the middle, and like it's very gender fluid, and, you know, just do whatever you want to do. And there's no rules at all, like, or any guidelines. So, you know, it's really good for a lot of kids that are alternative that maybe got like harassed in school and, you know, just came here to be accepted. So it's a really good job for those kind of kids.
Yeah, homegrown goddess.
You had said that you were a dominatrix before you became famous. So what other kind of jobs did you do before you became the glamazon you are now?
Well, when I left my husband, I was really good at doing my nails. So I tried to be a nail technician.
Oh, that's cool.
So
well, she said tried.
but it wasn't like enough money, like to do it. And my roommate was a dominatrix. She was a lesbian dominatrix, and she said I should do that. And I didn't really like it, but it was like no health risk, and you could get paid like a hooker, but like not have to do anything.
I love that. I love like sugar daddies.
Yeah, and if you didn't like the guy, like if you weren't attracted to the guy, you could make him jerk off at the end. Or if you thought he was attractive, you could jerk him off if you wanted to. So, so it was kind of good in that way because it still wasn't like a house risk. So it was kind of like
you had more control. You had more control over what was happening.
Well, it was kind of like weird because the guys would kind of give you scripts. So even though you were the dominant one, they were orchestrating the whole thing. And so they would like tell you they want you to do this, this, and that. And a lot of people like it was really crazy and kind of funny.
That sounds really interesting. I've heard of that. There's a show on Netflix. I can't think of what it's called.
Oh, we just watched it.
Bondage. And it's a short series, like
it's like 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, but it's really entertaining, and it deals with being a dominatrix, and I just think that's really interesting. Like I'm kind of thinking, like if I had lived in a city that was accepted or popular, I might have went that direction instead of just.
Hey, why not? It's like being an actress and getting hired for a gig every single day. I think that's incredible. Yeah.
And you get your aggressions out too. Like you get to smack people with a little leather thing.
It's definitely something to do, and you have to do a lot of thinking.
Well, you've moved on to other things besides nails and spanking people. You one of the how I was introduced to you was your music. My Hair Looks Fierce. That's how I learned about the amazing Amanda Lepore. And you've done music a lot, especially with Caswell, right?
Yeah, well, like when I modeled with David LaChapelle, I would get like these gigs of just like going away, kind of what you do, like when you go away and everything, only I didn't do a show. Like I just would have like a bottle or something, or go on stage and say hi or whatever, and sort of like a meet and greet kind of thing. So like it was kind of like felt like I wasn't doing anything because you would fly to different countries and stuff, and I wasn't doing like anything. So I met Caswell, and he did music, and he was really talented in writing music and everything. And he was with me one day, and he said, "Oh, I really want to write something for you." And he was watching me one day one night, and he wrote Champagne, and I think Jocelyn Wildenstein was there, and like, modeling for Heatherette, and he was just watching, and he just wrote that song. It took me a really long time to learn it. It took me about like 3 months because it has a lot of his My Hair is Fierce too was really hard too because it has a lot of words, like a really so that was really hard to do, but like I did it, and and when I went away, it was like more fun because I had something to give to people.
Yeah.
So it was like more fun doing like a show. So I really liked doing like more shows and stuff. I do burlesque too, like than to just sit there, like
yeah.
You feel like stupid, especially if they're taking you, on a plane or something.
Yeah, across the world
or something, back. So.
Do you still do your music whenever you travel?
I do. Like I always do like music and maybe like a burlesque show sometimes.
Love that. I love that.
I remember meeting you. They brought you to Orlando to Mr. Sisters.
Oh, I remember that.
It was very brief that existed, but I remember they brought you in, and I got to meet you at the meet and greet. It was such a special day for me. It was like I had loved you for so long, and it was really fun to just see you in person and get to meet you.
Oh, nice. I love that.
I remember when I finally got to meet you, because this was after Drag Race, when on season 9, when I did you for Snatch Game, which, by the way, they showed hardly any of my Snatch Game, and everybody thought that I was going to be in the top for doing you a Snatch Game because they thought it was so good. And but after I got to meet you in New York from Tyler introduced us. I was just so excited to just meet you. And I didn't realize how tiny you were. You are so tiny. And you're also so gracious and sweet. I just wanted to like kidnap her and take her because you're like a little doll. You're like a little Barbie doll.
Yeah, I remember meeting you like at Follies, like when the day you came to the show.
Yeah, it was, and that was a very interesting show too. Like that's what first time I was ever introduced to like a very dynamic kind of show because there were so many different types of.
I love that. I love all those kinds of things.
That's very up your alley.
It's very, very, very me. What I also really love about you, Amanda, is that you have created this persona of the dumb blonde bombshell, but you're so smart and you're
Super
so
smart.
well spoken. So it's like this living dichotomy, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's two sides of one coin. It's so great.
Oh, thank you.
Now, are you? She's like, keep going. Are you shy to talk about like stuff that you've had done?
No.
That's one of my favorite things about you is that you're perfect. So you've literally created what you wanted to look like. And so I love that about you. Are you planning on getting anything else done? Because girl, I'm like ready to go to Mexico and have a facelift. I'm ready.
Just like maintenance kind of things. Like I would definitely do a facelift somewhere down the road, maybe. I don't know. Like breasts, maybe. If I do breasts, I would probably want to go bigger.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that's what I always did in the past, but I'm pretty happy with myself now, you know, like, I just rather do stuff like corsets and want to, transform that way, more
Yeah.
and stuff and everything than to go with surgery. I think because I was in so many blogs too, like I'm more careful. Like before, I didn't think about it. I would just like do whatever I wanted to do and just do it at the drop of a dime.
Yeah.
Is there any surgery that you regret?
No. Like everything, I thought that I made good decisions for what I wanted to look like.
I have commitment issues, so I've always been scared. Like I so badly want to go and get my lips done and my nose done and do all these things, but I'm so afraid that as soon as I do, I'm gonna freak out and I'm gonna regret it.
Well, at least with your lips nowadays, if you go and get like filler from like an actual doctor, you can have that dissolved. Like that's your nose is a different thing. I've had a couple of nose jobs myself, so that's once you get that cut off, it's hard to replace. But filler is easy to get dissolved.
Well, but when I first started doing dragging, like my drag mother was Danielle Hunter, and my grandmother was Carmela Marcela Garcia.
Before, like in Florida.
Oh, she idolizes you.
Oh yeah,
idolizes
she loves you.
I love all those girls. I watched the Miss Continental.
Mm-hmm.
Old ones from the 90s. I love it. I love all that. I love the gowns and.
What did you ever compete in a pageant?
They did all their body when they do their bodies and everything, and they're over the top. And
they were the epitome of drag to me, and they were my reference point of drag.
The contouring is a little too much. That like beautiful.
But I loved them, and they were the ones that were when I wanted to rush out and get everything pumped that I could. They were like, no, we've done this, so why don't you wait? And I think they were the ones that kind of scared me out of doing it back when I was younger and I kind of had like the nerve to do it.
I had the opposite experience. So the first time I ever had my cheeks and lip, like basically my face work done, when I started drag, there was a trans drag artist named Siobhan Street, God rest her soul, who was like the queen in the city that I started drag. And one day I had to have been like 20. One day she's like, I'm going to go get a touch up. Do you want to go too, just to go see it happen? And I was like, yeah, hello. I'm so intrigued. And she was like, done. She had beautiful breasts, beautiful face, like tiny waist, big hips, big butt. And, So I went with her and I saw her touch up, and she, at the end, she was like, sit down. I'm going to have her just give you a little cheek and a little lip on me. And I'm like, oh my God, like a broke country boy doesn't have the money for this kind of stuff. I really wanted it. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. It's free. So the girl who did it just pumped me for the gods, bitch. Like the first time I was like, oh my gosh. And from then on, I was just hooked. I love the fact that you can alter what you look like. And I don't feel like it's an addiction. I like doing it.
Well, you have to kind of with silicone, but like back in the day, I didn't feel anything bad about doing it because it was actually legal. Like when I was younger and I first started doing it, the plastic surgeon would do it, and they would get like medical grade silicone from, I think there was a company from, it was French, like from Paris or something, the silicone. So it was really safe, but you have to be kind of addicted because they do it really slow. Like it takes forever to get anywhere with it. Like you have to keep on going. Like, and it takes years to do anything. I think my body took about like 5 or 6 years. I would go every month. And,
that's crazy. But I guess you're right. You have to do it slowly because to me, I don't suggest anyone going the route that I did, which was like, in someone's house. Definitely consult with an actual professional. But you have to go slow with that kind of stuff
because it'll fall. Like, not because it's held up by scar tissue, so you have to like wait for that to heal, and the scar tissue. So it's really something that you have to be really patient with, and you have to be really disciplined, I think, to go and to do it right. Nowadays I see girls, they go away and like they go to like another country. I think where they do the silicone. Like I think Kim Kardashian and all those people go there, and they do it all at once, and then it waves and it doesn't stay in place.
Well, your body looks amazing. It's just always been amazing. I love the fact that you show it off, and you always do these see-through dresses. And I think whenever I was in New York, we were going to do lunch or something, but you were rhinestoning. So you actually rhinestone and embellish your own costumes?
I do. I'm like a freak with that. Like I do it all the time in my spare time. Like I'm always like doing stuff, especially like with the COVID when I wasn't working. Like I would do like outfits and outfits and outfits, and then
your curtains, your bedspread, the wall, everything, your cat, it's all rhinestone.
No, it's always gowns and things I could wear, but I don't really do anything around the house.
I love that. I love that. So I've seen pictures of you at the Life Ball and other stuff. Activism is part of who you are and what you do. What makes you want to use your platform for that?
Well, it's a good cause. I mean, you feel good about it, and why not?
Yeah.
Like it's it's only going to cause good, I think.
Great. I think that it's important when people have a platform to use it. I think it's so selfish when someone doesn't use their platform and they have such a following.
Well, not even selfish. It's just such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
If you can be that.
Anytime I'm asked to do anything, I always say yes, for those kind of things,
Me too. Absolutely. I always wished that there was somebody like me when I was growing up that I could have looked at, that I could have watched, that I could have wanted to become. And I mean, all I had was divine, and that was so inaccessible for me. In my teeny tiny little country town. Like we had very little reference point for me. And if I can use this platform to kind of be that for the little kids out there that are like me, I'm going to use it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's really important, for kids to, have like role models and stuff. Instagram is really good with that because there's so many, types of things that you could be. You could be like in your head, and you could find someone to look up to. So that's really great for kids. I mean, I wish I had something like that when I was a kid.
Well, you know what? If you would have had something like, you might not be the person you are today, because you literally had to work really hard to be the person you are and look the way that you do and live the life that you have. So
she's a working girl.
Yeah, you're a working girl.
Yeah, that's just, I definitely work.
Now, you've done a lot of stuff with Suzanne Barsh, right?
Yes.
And how did that come about? How did you become friends with her?
Well, she hired me for parties like in the 90s. Like I actually, she was like one of the first people that I worked for, and she would have like a once a month party, and then I wasn't really friendly. I got more friendly with her in like maybe in the last like 10 years, I guess, like more like in the past, like we weren't as friendly. She was, she kept a distance between people that she hired, I think,
Yeah.
But then she started hanging out more with us and, being more of a friend, I think.
That's good. That's good. I met her at the same time that I met you, which I'm going to ask her to be one of our guests because I love her too. She's done a lot of stuff, a lot of activism too. She almost is like a mom to people, like that. She welcomes in people, outcasts that don't have anyone where to go, or I think she's a really cool person. So what's next for you? What's coming out next for you?
Well, I can't wait to go back to work, like
yes.
Starting to get like more jobs away from it. I just can't wait to we could just have normal hours and parties and the mask. I got vaccinated, and it's exciting that we're all not going to die off. Because that was like scary. I was like, what are they going to do? Like, because there wasn't like a vaccine. And I'm just excited to go back to work,
Now that you have all these rhinestone costumes just waiting.
Yeah. And plus now, like, we could go someplace, instead of, having the letdown of, so you're not going anywhere, after you do cameos or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, now that you've been vaccinated, come down to Florida. I'll show you around. Me and Ginger will take you out and do stuff.
I would love that.
I would love that too. Well, thank you so much for being a guest for us today. Yes. I just love you.
Where can we find you on social media?
On Amanda Lepore. At Amanda Lepore.
At Amanda Lepore.
At Amanda Lepore. We love that. Well, thank you so much. And I hope that I get to meet you again next time I'm in New York.
Well, before we go,
definitely.
We have such a legend with us. Like, we are Werkin girls. She's one of the original Werkin girls. Do you have any advice to give to our listeners on what it takes to be somebody who just works and works and works towards their success?
Well, I think that you have to like have a good attitude and not get along with people really well and have respect for people, for sure. Like it's not good to get fame and let it go to your head and be bitchy and all that. It's not about that. I think it's really important to be like in a whole community and things, and I think things just go better for you like when you're more all together, I think.
Yeah,
that is so true.
I agree totally.
I have said that to people like throughout my life when they ask me like, why are you so successful? Because I appreciate what I have and I'm grateful for it.
Ginger, did you have the game?
I do have a little game that we've been playing. If you want, it's very quick. It's I'm gonna give you 3 titles of pornographic movies, and you have to tell me which one is the fake one.
So it's 2 truths and a lie. So you have to tell us which one is the fake title. I actually won the last game, so let's see if I can get 2 for 2.
All right. So here's all 3. A funny thing happened on the way to the foreskin.
What?
Size wide open. And Indiana Bones and the Temple of Poon.
Oh my God. Okay, so do I go first or you want her to go first?
You can go first, Trinity. Which one do you think is the fake porn title?
The first one.
Funny thing happened on the way to the foreskin?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. All of them sound really good, but the last one is definitely, it has to be real.
Amanda, which one do you think is the fake one?
The first or last, maybe?
The first or last. Since you took the first, we'll have Amanda take the last. It's actually the last one, Indiana Bones and the Temple of Poon.
No, that one needs to be a real porn. That sounds too good.
It's perfect. But I just love that there's movies out there called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Foreskin and Thighs Wide Open.
That is hilarious. Well, thanks for playing our game today and doing our podcast. We just love you, and good luck with everything in the near future.
Can't wait to see you.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you again.
Oh, well, have a great day and have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye.